Hello. Check, check. Mm.
Check. Can you hear you?
Uh,
Maxed out.
hello.
A little better.
Yeah, can you mess with my do the usual? That perfect.
I say it's.
Yeah.
I got my eyes checked. It looks fine.
Yeah. Mine's better in 2020. My phone in the morning.
Check. It's probably pretty good. Huh?
Yeah. I don't have any clips to play, but
Okay. Review of that article.
yeah. Playing out here.
I was asking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Neil deGrasse Tyson on Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Bill Maher. I was like, oh, were you gonna do that?
No.
Oh.
No. No, I heard it.
If he also did that, and Matt also.
And I don't think it matters. I'm like really into all centered around. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of is what it is. Yeah. I kind of went out of my way to, because I was like, make sure we don't hit the, bull and obvious, but yeah, trying to kind of hit his, no, it was so perfect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I am.
In 5, 4, 3.
song?
Almost done with my potato.
Yeah. Not
If you know anyone that's willing to sign.
sure. You know what's kind of unique to that song is and he rocks those high notes, like endless, like crazy. I mean, he's a freak of nature with a range that the insistence that people have for karaoke. It's, it's, and here comes the chorus, and like as they do the pre-chorus, here comes the emotional equivalent of like going up the roller coaster chorus, and then it's right before you plunge down. If the put into a crowd of elderly people and children and karaoke. Just last week, found a video, I think, on Instagram or something. These guys are chopping down a tree, and I think it's called a barber chair, and bottom swings out.
Called a barber chair?
Yeah, or it's that. Yeah, and it catches this guy in the nuts, and just and the soundtrack is someone like on the recorder, very bad, it's playing the melody to the song, and my mind is just dying laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing, and so playing the melody and to the song. It's a really good song. That's a song from when I was a kid, you know. And he was completely uninterested. He's like, no, I like the other, which is just horrifically bad on purpose.
Man, he's either like just not interested in you, or he like,
right
out there to get.
He's gonna be the next.
Like, that's fantastic.
Either that or for years.
I was playing song. I was looking for something, and I do this for.
Classic.
Such a great song.
I just good 80s jams, like 80s so well. Right. And I've always thought that was up there with Something About You by Level 40, the greatest 80s song ever.
But I know it if I heard it.
Yeah, you'd recognize it. It was a mega hit. It's My Life by Howard Jones is another one. Just like irrefutable, like just undeniable, like hooks.
The way that we do gas, by the way, it's never current. And I was thinking about it the other day, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
This song. Like how. That time I did the dance for.
Well, okay. So I'm saying, you know, I just that like reflecting back on all the 80s music is people, but one I love like every phase they went through. No.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I love old Madonna, like the music. Like if you break, you know, totally like deconstruct the music and like what a guitar tone, what a weird guitar line. And when that's where wrote those songs back then, you know, on like they're like so it's just genius, like Dan music and like how to layer it and how to write songs and how to write arrangement, like move around. Yeah. But I also love the new like techno phase in like the early 2000s. Yeah. And then she's got some jams. she seems insufferable. The music is good, and I just had so you and what 10 years, something like that, and and yeah, right. And I was in our warehouse holding these steps, all these metal steps, and it was really hot. Off, and it was just like I'm going to deal with like kind of getting burned. But I had like my Carhartt overalls on, and so I have all my do you need for welding, and inside our roll up door, just to describe my redneck with just tons of tattoos, and I just going through all like the usual back then, and I put on the old Madonna stuff. This is really good. I had it kind of cranked, to hear over what I was doing. The uh, uh, the business across a carpet and construction one of their installers came over, and I looked over, and he was just standing there like this tatted up guy, like welding Madonna. He's just kind of like he was so confused. He's trying to play a joke. Yeah, to say after this, he was just trying to like do.
So,
right. Mm-hmm. Nice.
On there. I mean, they didn't know you were
right.
A little late to the party. Like that. Two shows a week.
Yep.
Now, the third show.
Correct.
Matt does with the next one that comes out.
It's nice. We actually have a couple of announcements coming up. One is have our first official partner with the show that week's episode, and the form of some, and we have been kind of blessed. Yeah, yes, yeah. I see.
Surprise when I found out that I was having the day that he was born. We waited. That was a good surprise. Yeah.
Your whole time, just you're looking really to take a jog around the block, like.
No.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl.
Oh, I got you. We will be announcing because which turned out we didn't ever plan on record us for our own kind of ego and send it to our one. Now that we're seeing the numbers have kind of, which is a little terrifying, I got to be honest with you. Now that we're doing the live stuff, there's going to be some another handful of platforms.
This one you can listen to. Today, so we'll keep you informed. If you follow us on Twitter or Instagram, we put out information. In fact,
I would
say what
no, go for it.
No, I don't.
Well, you do
your
okay. The we okay. Oh, you're doing it again. We have a couple options that we're trying to. It's a heavy watch.
Yeah.
into a very somber and depressing
Want to get drunk
right.
and cry.
Uh, the person um, for this showing I actually met with yesterday and sat down and had a beer with him and interesting people I've had the pleasure of sitting down with. Really kind of unique and like interesting insight. Interesting to meet people. We by all means, it's when people just kind of that was like a turning point for a lot of people for what the way that they started to think about things, structure, what's the what's the role of government and politics, all the usual things that we talk about. Yeah, absolutely. So and so, or it just
It doesn't matter.
it was yeah.
It's still for
So,
the world.
so meet up with someone who you didn't know before that, same things that you were, on of this whole thing going down.
I would say
Right. I was like, I'm gonna go meet someone about some stuff, and she goes, "What exactly?" I was like, "There's no doubt in my mind it's gonna be." But she asked, "How do you know him?" I'm like, "His behavior during the pandemic together, and you just I don't know, you kind of start forming your own little tribe and start refining your idea. Products come out and new you know things become, for example, like the Liberty Tree Company. Yeah, it's just a way that it's it mind, and I have lost a lot of friends, and I have made some that I'll have probably for the rest, which is also interesting because I had a friend come in from who you and I hung out with, and we had basically a business meeting where we just started hashing out all our ideas. He's a person that he's horrific with his. I don't talk to him at all unless we're in person, and for us to get together because he lives in the other, our wives have to coordinate us getting together because I've known this dude forever. And I when I see him in person, we just pick up like no same thing. Just this whole thing with down, the kids not being yeah, like yeah, he's like you didn't get that. Everything was exactly the same, and we weren't like on this stuff. So it was really interesting.
um,
Great minds.
you know what?
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mine hasn't slowed down though. Awesome. Here.
So
Yeah.
to learn.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Hmm. Awesome.
Yeah, just leave and
Very good to hear.
oh,
Okay. Thought this was yesterday when I met our friend from stuff. Is I have my we created kind of an inadvertent. Now I'm doing it consciously. Um, with my friend from San Diego, where it's like we need to create our structure. Like we can't allow ourselves to someone that who could just cancel us if we say the wrong thing. The hub of this issue and liberty and personal autonomy. Why we started this podcast, just that. But I was getting at is like the people that would hassle me about it, make a stink. I'm like, just that's fine. It's your business, however you want. And there are other businesses like, hey, we don't care. Work. I'm not, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, is where my money will go. Like, I'm not making like a stare or anything. It's just a very silent, like, cool. We have this. We're gonna respect, my decisions and my choices, and have this nice little symbiotic. I don't know. There's like a word for something like that. Freedom. And I also, because when businesses are talking about like, well, we're gonna for vax if you're gonna shop here, which that would totally support that. That's your business model. It's you should be able to say whatever you want to say. You can make whatever decision. I can go somewhere else. Um, oh boy,
do you mind?
all kinds of. Mm, that is nice. Jeez, I haven't heard that in a while. Uh, I'm not going anywhere near. But but the point being of what I was saying is that I didn't go to my other spot, which is like a hipster in here in Northern California with pubs, new brewery, independent beer brands. Right. It it gets a little creates it, it's so it's there's such a proliferation and it's so omnipresent that it starts to create a culture. So I was at this place, the beer is great, the business is great, the food is great. Yes.
Think about
Hmm.
right.
Oh, and it's the yeah. Oh yeah. 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 We are must be the primary industry in this area, right? The culture behind it, and every rich person. Yeah. Yeah. And you see personalized license plate and signs in people's house that say, you and it's just you had me at so it's so plain. But I realized like I'm not a big wine guy. Appreciate a good beer, but dude, it just had this. I was in line waiting to get a beer behind these people. I hate beer dorks. I cannot stand them. I hate that we have here. And I was just watching these people like before, but they all have the same kind of like attribute around like talking about, you know, say a and beer, which has it, blah blah blah, and you know they always have some kind of dorky cap, like they live in England. Yeah, hoodie sweatshirt, just talking about the out and you know what. Yes, like here, but just shut up about it. Drink it and think. There's so much thing. There's so many things that we could be talking about is in the glass that you're holding. It's unpredictable and I don't know when you are awash. It's pretty easy to start picking up you know what you hate about. That's where I was going with that. Yes, I hate beer dorks. Yeah. So I want to make a prediction that I'm going to. What do you got? You slow at work this week? um. Okay. Actually, the other reason that we started this sick of me giving my TED talks in the beginning of the pandemic is they're home from spring break. They're not going back. They're going to close down this next year, I bet you. And there's going to be a mask mandate, and there's going to be this 15 days to flatten the curve. It's nope. And then and all these things would happen. And I remember I was saying this like 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember. We had talked about like we got to start we need to actual like the actual like like let's just start recording stuff. I don't think there's much of an argument. Joe Biden is I don't I don't even know if I mean the dude is barely alive, not functioning incapacity that be driving, much less in the world. And there have been ideas. I think some of us will think you're not really going too far out there. I think some people will go like that. I think this might come true. So much so, $1,000 on it. There's websites that you can bet. I'm not going to get into this. Just kind of, yeah, just political stuff. But as of January, first day after 2 years, if he steps down, 2 years in office, one day after that, second, inaugurated on the first, right? Something like that. Right. So 2 years and one day he's gonna step down. It's just so obvious to like even the leftist media, which is almost all media. This is not good. This like just you just need to put them away and like so we can't hide after 9/11 Dick Cheney and the continuity of government. When you have someone like Dick Cheney actually kind of running shit here, like I got it from here. Some would say we don't have that luxury right now. Let's just say that. Connie bones of it is basically if that something happens, I mean that would never happen, right, with Russia or anything. Yeah, a major terrorism attack or is assassinated or just so incapable of any and has late stage dementia. That if the step before the 25th Amendment, where we go like you might not know it, but it's just too much of a liability to have you making decisions right now as much as that. As it refers to is the continuity government also included the structuring of the Middle East was part of the project. All this stuff was written a year before 9/11, and then in their paper that we need a new basically execute this plan that we have, going to being a complete nation state building program and built in America's image. And 9/11 happened. They had George Bush locked down in Florida, where he moved him to a bunker in Louisiana and kept him like he didn't have any contact with anyone for several. By the time that he came back into the fold, Donald Rumsfeld, Paul Wolfowitz, all these people for New American Century, we already had the Patriot Act up and running to invade Iraq and to basically restructure. It was the most evil genius thing. It's like reprehensible scumbags as these people are. They did, and that's the way they had everything genius. These people are geniuses. Yeah. No. So to quote the great Charlie Robinson from the Macroaggressions program, like, get really stoned, like read up on the Project for New Government and how they pulled everything, manipulated the media, they manipulated not to support it, and like it's just they restructured the entire forever. The world is never the same after this, and fighting these wars, right? Is about all that stuff that they did. Look into it, read into it, be stoned, and then start watching Kamala Harris videos and watch about the same thing. So, but she is second. And here's what I think is going to happen. One day, Joe Biden steps down. He's just going to have to do it. We can't keep it for 2 years. It's like you're ignoring every issue that, I mean, crime, immigration, all the stuff that's like that everyone is talking about. And are no, I think he just gets things shoveled in his lap. There, right. I think, yeah, yes, because by all standard measures, it begins to look like you see the things that are becoming talking points coming out of the White House and the press secretary. It's like, are you guys in demolition of a party right now? It's right and left. Every issue is more or less the same. It's inflation. It's the economy. It's the border. That's at the top. Everyone, libertarian, whatever. Like, these are the issues that people are worried about. It's like, what do we get instead? We're going to send a star to the White House, and we're going to do a one-on-one interview with her. I lose track of what you're supposed to say. Yeah, that's what you guys are giving us. That's what you guys, right before the midterms, like, are you guys trying to sink your party? They're going to shovel all this shit on Joe Biden from his own party and his own people, that he has to Kamala Harris in charge, which fucking no one is having. She's a percent approval rating from her own party in California, San Francisco Bay Area. It's like 20-something percent. Yes. She gets to pick who the vice president is. And they're going to plan to groom Gavin Newsom. Yes, Newsom to run in 2024. Oh, hell no. They won't let her. How do you keep Bernie Sanders from running? Says, I don't want him running. I want the nomination. It's very. Yeah. Yeah. Then Hillary Clinton the debate questions. Her own party will destroy her. Her own running. You're not going to do it. You're not getting the nomination. Gavin Newsom 2024. Yeah, I think the power structure is such that to do. She well, when Hillary Clinton throws her hat, much can happen. Hashtag Clinton body counts. My prediction. I had another thought because I have recently privileged, but I am teacher because we're doing homeschool hybrid school part of the week, and either pods with other parents that we organize. Right now, he's on the founding fathers, which I love because I love history. I always have been. It's always my favorite subject. I'm still just on my free time, and to go through that part of the country that we're lucky to be born in, it's to describe these things. But something I had a thought. Looking up the population estimate of the 13 colonies, started to create, which would become the ideological foundation. They had a pool of what's estimated to be right, of all the 13 colonies, and from Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, John Adams, all the people that would, an experience in governance that had never been done before, which would become the most powerful economy in the world that we're looking at now. The model for successful and depending on who you ask. I thought of this as I was following like the midterm debates because they're very, very, very close, and they go. Everyone's more or less predicting a red wave. Definitely looking, but something has to change. Draft next Tuesday. Um, yeah, I think, and I think right. Yeah. Right. Just a bunch of milk toast, like Yeah,
coming about.
which we had
Not
been
just in
which we had been talking about before, like the backlash last 2 years is going to be severe, and maybe even as you know, there's a very so for example, say like we're not going to prosecute, and it's just hats off. And when you look at things like in Chicago and Los Angeles and what's going on with California, like we're not going to have a store in San Francisco anymore. We can't. Like mobs of people come in here, assault walk out with everything they want, and the cops don't even show. My fear is as much as I correction and want to see the pendulum go back the other way, but that be looking at like full authoritarian police state order, way more powers for law enforcement, and so far to extreme a one way, they can very likely swing to some fascist dictator, like just cracking down on everything. What happened, but it's just I don't know. As far as political, anyway, without saying that, is to get all of 2.5 people. One of the races I was Pennsylvania has a population of just over 13 million people. What I'm up with is John Fetterman and Dr. Oz. What is wrong with your state, Pennsylvania? You need to do 2.5 million people. We came out with some of the most has ever known, and you guys give us a middle deadbeat and a made-for-TV quack. Give your Sunday show. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So in the bag by 10 a.m., like pending left. I just fucking did whatever. You know? Yeah. You're right. Mm-hmm. I just did a huge, as a quick side note, that is something that I've been podcast, but the difference between natural elites and political elite, pretty simple. Yeah. It's that that's that's Hapa, right? That it's pretty fast. It's like idea. Mm-hmm. They made Lethal Weapon. Right. I was gonna say Elon Musk, and then I'm just out of tamper emails. Tamper. Mm-hmm. It was on the notion of yeah, exactly. They have a notion of political elites, and they wanted to possible. Right. Yeah, it's mob rule. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Right. In the span of 60 years. Yeah. Talented or insightful. Anything. Right. No. Yeah, but all that money goes. I've developed so many great hot buttons that when I very much agree with what you're saying, and I've said it and different. But yeah, I have a certain litmus test or certain. If one of the first things they say is roads and schools, yeah, it's cool. Nice chat with you. Never mind. You're probably Mhm. Mhm. That was right.
And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
you really,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
right? It, it,
Mhm.
uh, they
Mhm.
only have because and this, you know, you could be
Which naturally leads to political leads, and they're very, very much as someone a power obsessed psychopath. I think almost every politician these days is these people ahead of the game as a little bit of future proofing from a 40,000 foot level, and like we have an awareness that you don't have the skills to get by, your own whatever level that you might on. And once you understand how political power hierarchies work, I think these people, are very much aware that they needed to kind of the cogs if they were going to rebuild in their image. Hmm.
and
Right. Yeah.
so they
And now we have
next thing you
crony
know,
capitalism.
yeah, who but the, and it, of government and the of
Yeah.
right they what
Right.
talking about the
Correct.
right and so and strip you well,
Hmm. Creature from Jekyll Island, the central bank.
read it
Yes.
to what
That's 3,000%. Yeah. I just saw a actually inflation went down since Yeah. Hmm.
That's a you
Yeah.
but so get
I did. Yeah.
you
If our health, if our health food sector and our and you know giant broken and corrupt as a health food section in your grocery store. Your grocery store would be. I did a I don't want to get derailed, but 2 weeks ago about seed oils, and I was looking at, and I did, you probably know this, that seed oil is a lubricant for lubricating like giant machineries, and then they go like, we can make more money on this if we things like that, and it's some of
so
the most evil things that you. Okay, right,
like who gets
yeah,
there you go. See,
yeah.
you know,
This is we tackle this with 3 4 we have there's like a Jan Wenner who was on Joe Rogan, just a boot looking status middle boomer shitbag riffing on like how the impetus was freedom of speech, and he's saying like no, that needs to regulate these social media platforms, and Joe Rogan's like how could you trust these people? It's like, well, look at all the things that they've been okay. Go ahead on with our food industry, and you start thinking about like beyond corrupt. I mean, the obesity rates, the inflammation rates that we have, like there's no, it's irrefutable that America is just plunging into health crisis since I don't know what the 60s. Actual real food into the process chemical, just not real foods. They're just weird chemical. They're chemical. What I don't know what you even call it. Foods. So after you shot him, then he goes, well, we have they've worked with government to come up with all these cures, and I was like, yeah, yeah, it's like it's a chemical feedlot. Yeah, and then the second example, the pharmaceutical industry. Hey, Dick, probably the wrong pharmaceutical industry. How young, dude? Stop talking. No one needs to hear what you have to say. No, he's off the hook.
uh, yeah,
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
For those of you show, that was our bathroom break. That came about after we made the that not many people like to hear mating. Um, for those of you that did enjoy it, unfortunately off the market. South with my wife and I'll fully hit you up. The attention and as always, thanks for listening. There is something that I wanted to bring up. This like I don't know what's the Chris here today, gone today. It's just the pace, new structure, and our that guys it's at a pace that and, and we always feel like we're kind of walking the line of I think a lot of well everything, but the reason why is because there's this rush to be first, and every 4 or 5 days it's kind of considered passive. Interestingly, you find out that everything corporate report erroneous, false, oftentimes in my opinion. But I really making the rounds, and I wanted to go through it and hear your thoughts on it. A lot of things kind of came out of the wood, and this is the whole idea of amnesty, um, where it was published. They all seem to be like propaganda campaign calling for this amnesty. The COVID fanatics version of, let's just move on to their version all of the branch. This started by a lengthy article by some OSTR, uh, the title of Listic Amnesty. Yeah, I actually like a good did some research of just the bears. Yes, it's a really interesting article, and I ability to remain diplomatic. I think there's useful understanding the inside of people that you know. This one was especially hard because it's mostly volatile subject. I've always I try to remain cognizant of the fact of like where these people are coming from, even though I know right off the bat just by the title of the article. Disagree with it. Agree with it. So, so I want to go through some of the things that I just kind of, as I kind of read, I kind of like. I should note that the graphic at the top time holding the proverbial gesture of let the past be past, let bygones. And she calls out for this. Let's move forward. So I'm declaring this. Fuck you. No, Emily. The article starts off like this. An ace family took an enormous number of eggs. We all myself. We had a family sale, which the person was approaching on the trail, and we needed to put on our mask. Child got too close to my then 4-year-old, yelled at her. Social distancing. That first thing I thought of. Thought that I understand that she's using it kind of tail to like set the table. I know it's her way of like kind of skew our brains as we read. We're a little off the rails, and we all were kind of confused and kind of maybe so. Fuck you. No, no. So I'm putting this in the same category as the tweet written by all just the NPCs that said like I'm trying to roll, and he's hysterically crying and refuses to get in the car. Mask mandate. Now I understand these woeful tales describing like how crazy things go. I know you describe like we might be looking at like a new this actually describe when I see these things failing as a parent. Like as a 4-year-old is yelling at someone at your 10-year-old is hysterically crying. You have made your kids on you. That is not on the kid. Your kid is not misbehaving. And did that do that? The White House didn't do that. Our reaction to the all yes, all these stories, about how difficult things 100% on. You have a child mentally ill. Congratulations. I get it, but I hope that was worth it. Back to the article. We're totally misguided. In April 2020, no one got the hiking. Wow. Thank God we know that now. Our cloth mask made of old paint. But the thing is, we didn't know. We didn't know. Before we, from academic angle, uh, simple blue collar work in brain. You are currently a professor at Brown universities on the entire planet. You didn't at least have a small nagging suspicion around your face outside while hiking. It's ridiculous. Of economics. Yeah, she's yes. Our class wouldn't have done anything. But the thing is, we did. Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to apply, like, call her working man brain. It's like me, me and my gifted with information that you don't have. To walk around like this is stupid. I intuitively know my face outside is fucking theater, and I'm yes. Mm.
No, we
Mhm.
talked about.
Mm.
I mean, it might she was
Right.
the first person
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Right.
like you put
Yeah. When fed you on the media and what, as we have said, saw when I walked out my front door were completely incongruent.
no,
Yeah. That's that's what you mean. Yeah. Sorry, like we didn't have the information. I was like, I intuitively made a decision that this was ridiculous. I did have the information. I had to find, didn't jive with anything that was on corporate media. And it became, when I knew officially, I had a, you know, I, this is nonsense. Why are people wearing masks outside? People that try to pick a fight with me in the beginning of the pandemic, going for a jog. I was running down the sidewalk. There wasn't anyone with no one around, and a car full of masked people. To which I very much said, like, absolutely, if you guys are having this. How do you? And when the red and everything became just so galvanized, just so obviously, all this became a primates of just raising the virtue flag of like we're and when it had all this, like we talked about, the nonsensical along with it, you know what I mean? Oh, we got the mask, and I walk if you're walking near me, right? Like I'm a primate just like you, and we're gonna stop cutting our hair, like because all the barber shops are closed, right? Because America, unless the barber shops open, and everyone's now they're growing beard. People, you point to your hair and your beard, like right, you know what I'm saying? Like the pan. Yeah,
because women
they set her up. That's different. Like, Paul Pelosi's drunk driving condition and his went off the rails with the hammer last week. Neither which was brought by the assailant, which
maybe
um that's true. Uh, Cautions were misguided. Okay, I wanted to right on the surface is may over semantics here, but this is important as we control the narrative, and as is used here. Once you realize that to extend the proverbial olive branch is to soft pedal and you gloss over and dumb down the things that fucking destroyed this country, which we will get to in a little. And I bring this up to say I'm going to use your language and point out how you are using them because I'm not going to let you simply. Um, are you okay? So to quote her, that's guided. Are you familiar with the precautionary principle? Okay.
oh,
Yeah, it's the precautionary principle, epistemological, philosophical approach to innovations with potential for causing harm, scientific knowledge on matter is lacking. It emphasizes review before leaping into new innovations that may prove. Did, as a doctor should do.
And it would,
Right.
it could,
That's the precautionary. Absolutely. So a fundamental get out, I would argue, the fundamental component of the precaution inherently requires us to weigh the cost of precautions, as in follow the same fucking sheep banter, and you need to damage that these things are going to cause. People did not do that. So sorry, as it pertains to this article, and one of the foundational tenets of the principle, you don't get to use that word. This is not a precaution. That is not incorrectly. I don't correct professors very often, but she's fucking wrong in this article. Okay. These choices turned out to be better than others. To my own work, there is an emerging, if not uniform, U.S. were closed for too long. The head were relatively low, whereas the students' well-being. The latest figures on learning loss are in summer 2020. We had only glimmers of people who cared about children and teachers advocated. Nope, that's fucking bullshit. We did not have advocating on both sides of the reopening debate. There was, and that was the schools were going to be closed. Any platformed and silenced and doxxed and called a juror and a Trump supporter. I don't know word it de jour or what it was. So don't give me this debate. We make decisions. And if you are a parent, day one, your kid not being in school, be affecting his life, especially if you had a little kid. And on a Zoom call, watching their kids knew that it was bullshit and your kid was not being educated. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. I got thoughts on that.
just
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll give her that one. Yeah, she said she. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, some people intended to mislead and made wildly claims. I don't know if you're describing yourself. Remember when the public health community had to spend Americans not to inject themselves with bleach? Nope. Sorry. If what you are referring to is some offhanded comment by bleach fixes this, and the media is 2 weeks full fucking feeding frenzy where you guys like, oh, all of our propaganda calories on the. That's what you guys did. You weren't trying. No one was drinking bleach. Yeah. Yes. There was no giant trying to refute that. People were like, no, the answer is injecting your. Also, side note, and hear some politician freestyle riff about injecting it. Have at it, my man. Let it work. The herd becomes stronger. All right. Back to the article. Given the amount of position was taken on every topic, that is fucking not true. And on every topic, someone was eventually proved wrong. In some instances, the right people were right, as they had a prescient understanding of the available information was not taken on every topic. This is things you believe ideology, some nuanced discussion that all result. You guys maybe I can imagine maybe like 5 feet social distance, but 2 meters. Yeah, 2 meters. There was one established narrative. Last practice social distancing. We should close the school, and we should mandate the shot. That was the only. So don't give me this like had this rigorous, healthy debate. We ended up here. One accepted narrative in all of academia, and that was it. Anyone that didn't fall, they were shut down. They were silenced against that. Yeah. For whatever you may want to gloat. Okay. Fucking pissed. I'm not keeping score. This is not about keeping people accountable. Yeah. Yeah. Are you wearing a cloth band? Defensiveness continues to gobble up a lot of social, especially on the internet. These discussions are heated and unproductive. Unproductive. How about fuck you? You were wrong. We were right, and you don't get to gloss over that. And all of a sudden, go like we're not taking it. Everything fucking wrong. And the things that you enforced and helped enforce culturally and the generation of children. That's the one that gets me. I got things hurt me. So if you're gonna, I didn't miss any work. I've set myself up where I was like, but when my kid was out of school and seeing kids that have lost 2 years of development, like now I have a dog in this fight. That's why this article pisses me off. And you know what this article is not a call for amnesty. What it is announcing to the world that you have been forgiven. Right. You know what she reminds me of is the guy who cheats on his wife and ruins his family, announces to wife like, "Hey, you know, we should really work on this." It's like you you knees and beg for forgiveness, and if I'm feeling to consider it, probably not, because you just fucking tore this family apart. Like you don't get to retroactively absolve yourself of any wrongdoing. Like you went wrong and we were right, and now you're coming around to fucking party. Even Bill Maher, like, all you guys, welcome to the party. We've been saying the exact same things. You guys don't get to come around. Like, like they're crazy times because you guys, we didn't want this. We didn't believe this. We didn't buy into it. Wrecked the economy. You wrecked a generation of kids, of local businesses. I mean, you ruined families. Their relatives die on a fucking Zoom call. Waltz into the party now. Like, it's kind of crazy. So, yes. I don't. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, so mhm, right. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. I I I would say this to these people. Not all of it was, they're extremely evil, vindictive on intentionally by a lot of people. And I agree with you. I am willing between those people and the people that just thought it was the right thing to do. I absolutely agree. There's a difference, but the people is going to hell. I mean, that was proof to me that they're alive and well walking on this earth. It's not a guy in a pitchfork. Is mm-hmm, mm-hmm. To that second group, I'm charitable here, even though I don't want to be. And your heart was in the right position. Here's what you need to do. Give us a 5-star review. It, you don't get to announce amnesty and that Biden for a better tomorrow. No, no. The first letter you write is grok, an admission that you got everything wrong. Beg for our forgiveness. Number 8, I want fucking action. What's going to change? I want the CDC fucking destroyed and rebuilt. I want the politicians that put put on my Antifa hat here for a sec. Just, I want the politicians. I want the politicians going on that knew that the lockdowns don't do anything, mandates weren't doing anything. The Gavin Newsoms of the world who shut down the schools, ate out the French Laundry. I want them removed from power. we need to sacrifice. You need to offer us a sack plate if I'm going to take you seriously at all. People, Fauci, Rochelle Walensky, Randy Weingarten from the United States Teachers Association, they for the rest of their lives for what they did to children, and offer offer us something. Number two, let's be charitable, right? We have to move on. I would rather not coexist with you people, but let's say that we have to make. Here's the caveat: I never want to hear a fucking another opinion so wrong. Don't talk to me about Ukraine or stimulus package. Don't talk to me about Build Back Better or the Greens. You shut your fucking mouth for the rest of your life. Your legs and just be civil, and I will offering that all taxation is theft and stuff in here. Yes, I mean there's more, but and I people like it's absolutely mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Climate change. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. I heard of them arguing about the COVID regime. And this guy is so Trump's intellect, and that's a perfect example. I was like, I've just that he's a natural elite. Yeah, yeah, I like it. Keep the score.